Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Starring Clark Gregg, MING-NA WEN, CHLOE BENNET, Elizabeth Henstridge, Henry Simmons, Natalia Cordova-Buckley, Jeff Ward. Tonight's episode, A Trout in the Milk.
I know! Have you met Gimlet, Zach, right?
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi!
Oh, Iden's just texting me. Are we on? Yep, whenever you're ready.
I know!
Oh wait, hang on.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I have to mute something over here.
Oh, Iden's just texting me. Are we on?
Oh,
Yep, whenever
wait a
you're
second.
ready.
Wait. I have this so many places. Okay, here we are. Hello, Mr. Stan Brooks.
Hi there!
This is the director of this episode, which is called A Trout in the Milk.
Yes.
Hello to everybody on YouTube. Thank you for being here. We're so excited. I was just going to read the blurb for this episode, in case you've forgotten. Okay, A Trout in the Milk. After a bumpy landing in the disco decade, the team reunites with more than one familiar face at the S.H.I.E.L.D. hangout and discovers exactly how to dismantle the Chronicom's latest plan. But when they get too close for comfort, the Zephyr unexpectedly leaps forward again, this time to a date pivotal to not only the future of S.H.I.E.L.D., but to the future of Director Mac as well on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hey, IDEN BAGHADADCHI.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, guys?
Good.
Don't let me ruin. Yeah, go continue doing your thing. I'm just gonna be a ornamental Zoom guest.
Oh my gosh, the best kind.
Yeah.
I just read the blurb for this week's episode.
I bet it's a good blurb too.
It's a great blurb. Do you write the blurb?
No, I have absolutely nothing to do with the blurb.
Got it. Copy
Yeah.
that.
No, we get no say in any of that stuff.
Nothing.
When
Up, Stan. How's it going?
How
Yeah.
are you?
Oh,
Good to
pretty
see you.
great. You know.
Stan, you look so clean shaven and like fresh.
Thanks for noticing. I took my beard off during the pandemic.
Looks good on you.
In 30 years.
Although Iden, you have a quarantine beard and it's working for you.
In all fairness, I had the beard beforehand.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then you know it looks good, which is a bonus.
Get him to tell you the story of how they came up with the title, because it's amazing.
I mean, we can jump right in with like some interesting trivia. Is that how these things work?
Please, yes.
Okay, so this episode is called A Trout in the Milk. And as people no doubt realize at this point, it takes place in the 70s. And so when breaking this episode in the room, we did some research, by which I mean YouTube. And we started looking
Not
up.
YouTube.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, it's a fantastic medium, by the way. But we started looking at opening credit sequences for 70s cop shows and things like that. And we happened to land on the opening credit sequence for a television program called Streets of San Francisco. And as it happened, that particular episode of Streets of San Francisco was called A Trout in the Milk. And for reasons that were really very evident at that time, we decided to name this episode Trout in the Milk. But as you no doubt realize, the overlap between fans of Elizabeth Henstridge and Streets of San Francisco is quite robust.
Oh my gosh, they're
That's
everywhere.
Yeah.
What a great title. And it is very relevant to the episode. It's not so
Right?
random.
Yeah, exactly.
And we explain it.
Yeah.
And so when I was trying to remember when we shot this, when did we shoot this?
This was mid-April.
I can tell you when, because I had to lose a half a day of shooting because you went to the premiere of one of the Avengers movies.
Oh, yes. No, we did.
It was the Avengers 2. It was the final.
Yeah, it was the final one.
Yeah,
Yeah, after the click or something.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember
That
that.
was good.
Oh, remember when we used to go to premieres? You know, those things.
Yeah,
Stan, are you in LA right now?
I am. Santa Monica.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So I have already seen this episode, so I have a sneak peek, but you really had fun with 70s film references, it felt like.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, that's when I was in high school, which of course is your golden age. So I remembered it vividly. I had an 8-track player. So when they said, do you know what 8-tracks are? I go, yes. And then at one point I pulled out my high school prom photo as a wardrobe reference.
No, oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah. So I knew the music, I knew the wardrobe, I knew the location, I knew what everything should look like. I gave suggestions to the art department for what should be painted in our New York street. I gave them ideas for set dressing, for things I wanted to see, and all of it. By the way, it's the most amazing crew, and everything I asked for, I got, and it really feels like the 70s. And
it does.
I worked on that lot, the Warner's lot, for 3 years. But when I was much younger, in my 20s, and I was working for John Peters and Peter Guber, running their company, and that out my window, I could see the New York street. And I used to dream, maybe someday I'll get to shoot on that street as a producer. And the thought that I got to direct on that street that day was just glorious.
And it's all the background artists too, and everybody in the dress, it really, and the way that you shot it, it gives such a feel for the decade, which is what is so fun about this.
One of the things, they gave me a really big sandbox, as they said, make it feel like the 70s. So my opening shot is a total homage to Saturday Night Fever. And then there's
the overlap of
things that they used to use in 70s.
Yeah, super overlap.
Like, snap zooms and whip pans and all these things. And they were really gracious about letting me, do all that stuff to make it feel a little bit more like a 70s television show.
Yeah. Hey, 3, 2, 1. We just started it. I say it every week that I'm going to do a countdown so that people can watch, when it's on air in their country and things. And this is as close as I've got. So just pat myself on the back for that.
Really.
Yeah, it was quite a quick countdown. But now we're in the preview from last week. So we're seeing it with Susan and stuff. Didn't mean to cut you off, Stan, but I just have not got that right yet. So this is a very big day for me. So did you watch 70s for both of you? Did you watch movies from the 70s to kind of get in the zone, or were you already?
100%. I watched Saturday Night Fever and a couple of other sort of the time period, but then I watched a lot of 70s TV. I watched Mannix, Street from San Francisco, Columbo, Cannon, and there's one more. And that was crazy. I mean, that's hard work.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a lot of work. We're about to, it's so good you haven't seen this yet. It's the opening credits.
Oh,
it's so good. I wish I could just.
I can't wait to see those. We shot every one of those was shot. That's not footage.
This is so cool.
Yeah, but mine was shot too.
Yeah, remember you had with the test tubes in the science lab?
Oh my God. How did you, who came up?
I storyboarded the whole thing. I knew exactly. I put it on my shot list, and we planned for it.
Was that something that, who comes up with that stuff? Like, how do you, because we've never.
They came to me and said that they were toying with a couple of things, and they took me in, Chris Chermy, who's the amazing post guy, took me into the editing room before I started shooting and said, this is what we're thinking about. And he showed me a couple of ideas, and I went, that one, do that one. And he says, but we're going to need footage. And originally they were going to use footage from the show, from previous episodes. Right. And of course, then they found out they couldn't do that. It was a guild problem. So they said, will you shoot it? And I said, absolutely.
They were so fun. I'd forgotten that we did that. That's this season for me, because we shot this pretty much a year ago. Yeah. I don't remember. I watched that and I was like, oh, they got that from season 1. And now you're saying it, I remember as being on set shooting.
Also before, here goes.
Oh my gosh.
What happened?
Ms. CHLOE BENNET.
Wait, why can't I see?
You have to press the video. I don't know what.
Wow, you would think that playing computer hacker for so long. Hi, you guys.
CHLOE, this is perfect timing because you've just come on screen, and I'm not being funny, but you look so beautiful.
Oh, keep the comments coming.
The hair.
Thanks. I must have had a really good writer and director to help.
It's very possible.
Hey, you guys.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen this yet.
Well, it's great.
Nor have I.
I mean, yeah, right. I mean, it's airing, so I guess I wouldn't have technically. Elizabeth's all tech savvy now.
Oh my gosh, I've got
What is
2
this?
monitors. I've got my phone. You'd be so proud of me.
Hi, Zach.
What's up?
Hi.
Zach and I are twinning today.
How are
I
you?
know. I was just going to say, I forgot my Heather Gray.
Who planned this? It just happened.
Just happened. Was cute like that.
Ugh. Hey, guys. How are you?
Chloe, I like the long hair.
You know what? Me too.
Looks amazing.
Thank you. It's called the COVID-19 look. It's a,
Yeah, it's working for you.
it just keeps growing, you know?
Is it weird to be able to wear your hair how you want and not have to because usually if we want to cut or dye our hair, we have to run it through quite a few different people of Shield.
I'm loving it.
I think
Are you
most
loving
humans who are not actors, that's generally how they operate in regards to their haircuts. They just
Yeah,
kinda
I can
do
have whatever nail color I
Do
want.
whatever.
That's
It's
kinda
so
what it is.
crazy. Yeah, get gel nails.
Ugh, gel nails. We all
Gel
do that
nails.
right when we wrap, pretty much.
Yeah, get our nails
Likewise.
done.
Likewise.
Chloe Bell, you're just walking down the street at the moment into the speakeasy, I think.
Yeah.
I might have spoiled that. Sorry about that. How was it shooting on that? Because Stan was just saying that he worked on the Warner lot for 3 years, Stan,
Yeah.
and would look at that
Okay.
street and would want to shoot on it, and then obviously with our show got to.
I mean, it was iconic.
Yeah.
It was iconic. It was really crazy, especially since, we started we really did travel through time on the same street. And it was just so crazy to every week just go into a new time zone on such an iconic lot where Friends was shot and everything like that. It was crazy. I actually have a really cute picture of Iden that I'm going to show.
Oh, nice. I like
It's
this.
called the Annie Street because that's where they built it for Annie.
Is
No
that-
way.
Yeah.
Whoa. Stan coming in with the
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this picture of Iden's. Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have those moments, Iden? Because as a writer, you're on set just for your episode, right? So did you have a moment on that day when you were like, I can't believe that I'm here?
Yes, the entirety of that day and also the entirety of that episode. It was really very exciting, but especially being on the Warner backlot and seeing it all done up and seeing all our background and seeing all the detail put into each single storefront, the clothing store, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I have to say, Iden, you are one of the best writers I've ever experienced on set because you're just so excited and happy to be there, and you always have your tea. You don't
I do enjoy hot beverages. That much is true. But thank you for the blandishments as well.
Yeah, because the tea is a big thing for me, soft
Yeah,
spot.
naturally. No, but I actually I am legitimately excited to be on set. Like there is a tendency sometimes for people who work in this business to get very cynical, and I totally get that. That happens to me too. But whenever I got a chance to be on set for one of my episodes, it was absolutely it was fantastic. you're actually going to make something.
Yeah.
So this episode especially, because this was my 3rd episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first one that I was able to do while actually on staff for the show. And it was also the first one I felt like I didn't fall flat on my face immediately. So I felt a little more comfortable in what I was doing. And yeah. So in general, the experience was okay, I've done this twice before. Now this one is things are gonna be a bit smoother.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And you and Stan made such a great pairing because you both, we are family.
I was blessed because I got to direct 2 episodes. I directed one in season 5, which was very dramatic. And it's when Mac had to relive the passing of his daughter from the framework, and there was a lot of tears. And then I got to do this one, which was hilarious all the way through. I mean, it was, first of all, I'm playing in the 70s, so you get to have fun. But there's also, I think, Ming did comedy. I'm a huge fan of the show. I can't think of another episode where she did serious physical comedy.
Yeah. I can't wait till we get to that bit because she does it as May, which is the most impressive thing because that's a very Ming thing to do, the comedy in real life, but then to do it through May.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
That's the thing when if you're a huge fan of the show and then you get to come on the set, like I got to direct in season 5, but I was a huge fan. I'd watched every episode up to that point, and she's so dark and serious all the time and kicking ass. So you expect her to be that way, and then she's the one on set always making jokes and pranking people and laughing nonstop. You can hear her laugh from like as far away as 3 sets over.
So true. Chloe, did you find that BTS?
We shot it so long ago. I'm trying to find the pictures. I was just there and then my phone reset and now I'm just, Did we shoot this before or after Comic-Con?
Before.
Before.
This was April of last year, back when things like Comic-Con still existed.
Yeah.
We shot it. Stan reminded me that we shot it. We had to take an afternoon off to go to the premiere of the last Avengers movie.
Oh, yes. Orange dress. Got it. Love that. Okay,
yes,
that helps.
Orange dress, I think you were in.
Dress, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only way I remember anything is what we were wearing.
In June of 2019. So
finish at lunch, they said to me. Finish at lunch.
And
everybody is departing.
Yes. That was yes, I do. Didn't like Benedict Cumberbatch step on my dress and I was like,
Yes, yeah, we were mad.
And I was like, oh, and he turned around, it was like, oh God, that was.
Yes, that was, never mind. And then Elizabeth Olsen was on the red carpet and I absolutely lost it.
Yes, she looked so good that night.
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen her IRL? She is next level.
Yes, I was right there with you. You were like, have you ever? I'm like, yes, Elizabeth, we're watching it together. That was a fun one. That was a kind of, okay. You know what? I have a lot of BTS here. So many.
I have one photo for you. So my son visited set because he was in college, but he was obsessed with S.H.I.E.L.D. as much as I am. And he came on set and was on the stage. And he, I think we'll know at the end, is an extra in the last shot.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no way.
Oh my gosh. I remember that day.
So that's Eli right there.
Oh,
he was so proud of you that day.
Oh, I was so happy to have him there because he's such a huge fan. I mean, he knew every set, he knew everything. It was like, when it's when, it's how I felt the first time I came on the set. It's like, first of all, you're on a lot that's iconic that they shot Citizen Kane on. So for me as a movie buff, it was like every stage was hallowed ground. And then to see the sets that you'd seen and then to meet the characters. And of course, I got to have the blue people. So I had.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I had the Creed.
Yeah.
So then it was, they won't be on set for about 2.5 hours.
That took forever.
That practical blue makeup. Worst to have fights with them because you just had to dodge the blue on your wardrobe all the time. Here's a picture of my son, Iden.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Iden.
That is genuine excitement on my face.
See what I mean? Look how happy he is to be there. It's infectious.
Yeah, but that's genuine.
There's another one.
Then okay, fine, Chloe. I'm gonna share a photo as well.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, I guess I can do this because no one's gonna not do. So for people who are curious, so during prep for the episode, we get people who are prepping the episode, the director, the writer, all that stuff. We receive these emails from wardrobe with here are what people are gonna wear, all that kind of thing. So they were doing Jeff Ward's wardrobe for Deke. And someone included a photo at the end of Jeff Ward's email. I thought it was just fantastic. Perhaps you can see that there.
The birth of our matching tracksuit.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We ended up having S.H.I.E.L.D. order us those yellow ones. And we did wear them I should have known this. And then we wore them.
By the way, you can thank me because they said, what do you want to put?
Yes.
And I said, I want an Adidas tracksuit. And they said, why? I said, because there's nothing more iconic to the 70s than an Adidas tracksuit. And they said, will you take another brand? I said, no, because it has to have the stripes. And then they ordered it in black. And I said, no, it has to be red. And they said, does it have to be red? I said, yes, it has to be red. That Jeff Ward himself would wear nothing but red, but Deke for sure would wear red.
So true. That you birthed a monster in that episode because Chloe, Jeff, and I had a lot of fun with those matching tracksuits.
Well, I gotta say, sorry, I'm like sitting on the floor now.
Okay, go
The
for it.
inspo really is Zach and Elizabeth's Monkey Miles matching tracksuit situation, which
Don't know
you
if
have
you,
to, like,
yeah, I make him. Well, no, you enjoy it now
I
too.
enjoy it, yeah.
We're all about it. We wear matching whenever we travel on a plane.
It's a good idea.
Or now.
And now, apparently.
Yeah, it's not
Yes.
we're matching now. Then.
No, it's just not. It's just organic.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the reasoning for wearing matching clothing while traveling? Is it so people know you're a team, or like what's the?
I mean, I think I really like being part of a team
Yeah.
because you know, sports were never top of my game.
Same. Maybe that's why we like to match.
And typically they're not subdued like gray. They're like
No, they're really out there and
very
fun.
noticeable. Like if you saw one of us alone, you'd be like, "Oh my God, the other one's over there."
She
sort of
belongs
thing.
to him, and
Yeah.
vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were flying one time and we saw a lady walk by and she had purple velour tracksuit and big chunky white sneakers, and she was maybe 70s, 80s. And I said out loud, "Oh my gosh, that is, wow, she looks so cool. What a good idea. What comfortable, stylish, really stands out from the crowd." And then, I mean, yeah, look at, you can imagine it was the best day of my life. And then a man walks by in the exact same purple velour with the
stop.
chunky white sneakers. I about lost it. So since that day.
So thank you, Stan, for the tracksuit idea.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Zach.
Yeah, thank you, Stan. Thank you, Zach. And thank you, Chloe, because you got them as a surprise.
I
Remember
did.
there
I
was
think
this-
maybe Shield might have gotten them. Oh no, you know what? I gave my card. I did.
No, you got them. They had
Yeah.
our credit cards. I've that showed up on my bill a few times. I've been
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I asked for that."
When did I get that? I did. We did just give like Whitney and Ann and everyone was like, we just have our cards here. You can, if we liked an outfit.
We had a baby
Full
during my
rebel.
episode.
What?
She had her baby during my episode.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get to work with her because she came in at the very first meeting when we just discussed what everybody was going to wear. And we decided on the Von Furstenberg for May, and on your
Yes.
suit, and on your pantsuit, which
Yeah.
that was the only two things we decided. And then she said, "You won't see me again." And then she had her baby.
Yeah, Whitney, our costume designer, left,
yeah.
and then we got a new one who we tortured by trying up, because we went with Jeff to his fitting. I don't really know why.
We were just like wanted to stick together as a little team, and
Stick
we
together
just
as a
all
team.
went, and they were like, we just really need to fit Jeff, and we were like, what about us? Tracksuit, and like just threw stuff around. Definitely slowed down something, but it was kind of worth it because then we had a lot of good content after.
There's so much fun wardrobe in here. I mean, we're not even talking about the blue jumpsuits at the.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
I don't know if we've got to that bit yet. We're on the break at the moment for, what is that? A game show.
Oh.
You
ABC.
know? ABC game show.
Is it a quarantine game show from home?
No, they have a game night where they have like to tell the truth and match games.
Right.
Summer fun and games, it says.
Uh,
Oh, we're now back.
The 8-track.
Oh, is that what that is? An 8-track? Oh, we just saw an
Yeah.
8-track.
Yeah, I shot it as a scene opener.
And they used it as the scene opener.
Awesome.
Yeah, because
By the way, all this is going to come as a surprise. I haven't seen it.
when did you do your director's cut?
Yeah.
So the last time I saw it was when I delivered my cut, but it was long, and so that was the last I saw it. I haven't seen it since, so I don't know what they kept and what they didn't, and what got cut out.
And then you don't have to say, you hand in your version and
Hand it in and bye bye. Thanks very much, and watch it when it's on the air. I was a
which,
little taken aback the first time, but this time I knew. Okay, well that's how it works.
yeah. Like, when was the last time you saw it, Iden? How involved is the writer in the post-production?
Well, so once Stan turns in his cut, then I get to take a look at it, and I see, and I have the unenviable task of how can I improve on Stan's work? And the answer is, well, you can't. So, but I try, and I say, okay, if you have to cut something, maybe you can trim this scene, maybe you can cut some air. So basically, I kind of give a round of notes to like, okay, what can we sort of tighten up here? What can we sort of like shorten to fit time, the constraints, all that kind of thing. And then after it goes to me, then the other executive producers take a crack at it, and they will fine tune it, all that stuff. But it's been a while. So I think I watched the final cut of it sometime this summer when around the time that everyone was shooting the final episode. So I had a chance to see it then. So I have not seen this new episode that is currently airing at this very moment.
Oh, it's so good.
But I hear it's great. I hear it's great. Anecdotally, I've heard good things about this episode.
Great. It's great.
Yeah.
Well written, well acted, well directed.
Yeah.
We're just May is in where is she? In the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. This is her scene.
Yes.
Oh, is that with the cake?
Warburton.
After,
No.
Yes. This is that episode. Yes, Chloe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not got to the
That's how
cake.
Sure.
bad I am. I'm
I
like,
got-
is there cake in the scene? Like, I just absolutely.
No, this is
Clever.
Chastity, I think.
Oh yes.
You wear a mustache. I mean,
Yeah, what's his name again?
Patrick Warburton.
Patrick.
Oh, he was
Warburton
great.
on the screen.
He was, by the way, he is exactly what he is. So the
Yeah.
guy that's in those National Car commercials and was the voice on SpongeBob, that's the same guy.
He
You don't
was
have to
the
give him
voice
direction.
on SpongeBob.
Yeah, he's one of the voices on SpongeBob.
So
I-
fun.
I don't think
Wow, I was in a fake bar with him all day, and I
Family
didn't.
Guy too? Or am I just making that up? Is he one of the Family Guy voices? No.
Is he on
He does.
Family
I know he
Guy?
does a lot of voices,
Yeah.
and he's hilarious. I mean, he doesn't try to be hilarious. He's just freaking hilarious.
Yeah, he was really funny.
He is approximately putty. As you said, Stan, he's basically what you think he is, and
Yeah.
that is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
He's like really enjoying himself in this episode. And now,
Yeah.
Chloe, you're having like a flirty, not like a power play with, I want to say Malik's brother.
Young Malik. Yeah.
Young Malik.
Oh, young Malik.
Young, right?
Oh yes. And he
The
comes
brother.
up. I think it's a Malik.
Yeah.
It's a Malik, yeah.
Young Gideon Malik.
You know what my
Young
direction?
Gideon-
So
Yeah.
he comes over and tries to flirt with Chloe, and he was supposed to be a real jerk, it's like, you know, very confident. And he said, "How do you want me to play this?" And I whispered in his ear, "Donald Trump Jr." And he goes, "Got it."
Yeah.
Wow. It was that. I think that's what he gave.
Yeah.
It has a vibe to it for sure. Yeah.
It was like a feeling I think all women know. It was like, oh, this is fun. It was fun to get to do that. That was what the fun aspects of time travel is.
That's when Sousa comes in and saves you, right?
Yes.
Tends to be your
Has
girlfriend.
it happened yet?
Boyfriend, yeah.
It has happened, and it's
Oh.
a bit flirty when it does.
Oh, that's pretty exciting. Yeah, that's some good television.
What do you think
About that.
about Oh, he's back.
He's back. He's
So-
not in his 70s clothes.
Absolutely do not know what to say when it comes to anything.
Anything, absolutely anything. I know. Oh, the tracksuit's here. It's had
Ah!
a premiere. Here he is in his red tracksuit. I didn't get to dress up this episode.
Well, you were.
I know.
I think this was on the Zephyr, so there was no sort of like reason that she needed to be dressed up.
Except
No,
Uh,
we can't
but-
all go to
yeah.
New York.
what
yeah.
do you think Simmons would have been dressed up as? You know, like I feel like
No, but you did get to have that great comedic scene with Jeff where he wants to talk to you about how you gave birth to his parents.
wow.
And you keep walking away from him when he talks about sex.
Not unlike real life, really.
Yeah, it feels pretty accurate.
Feels accurate. Yeah.
It's strange. There's a bit of overlap between Jeff Ward and Deke Shaw.
Hmm.
I don't know if you
No.
ever noticed that ever at any point. But
I think you just
some
maybe there wasn't
similarities.
a start, but
I mean, wasn't Deke a completely different character? He was like,
Well, for sure, Jeff Ward was a completely different character. At first.
He came in for someone else. He
yeah,
went to
well,
the
that
table, he was
like the
someone else.
character of Deke was like totally different, and then Jeff just came in and
did
made
Jeff.
it his own.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He Jeff Warded it for sure.
completely.
Yeah.
That much is
Thank
true.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But close.
Yeah, on the topic of like wardrobe and stuff, yeah, like it didn't make sense for the characters who weren't going out in the 70s to put on 70s clothing. That would have been exciting. But it does remind me, I remember going on set, I think for episode 7, for like the second or third, 702 or 703, when you guys were still in the 1931 garb. And I remember seeing you guys on the Zephyr and thinking, okay, I've seen this scene before a bunch of times, all hands on deck, the Shield crew is on the Zephyr, but it feels so different now because people are wearing old-timey hats.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everything old feels new again by merit of old-timey hats.
It totally, like the time travel totally reinvigorated everything. I mean, every department just had to come in and it was so fun. Everyone got to stretch their creative wings a little bit and like come in, and every department just showed up. I mean, because there's a lot of planning, you know, when you're shooting and you're prepping for everyone, there's so much planning. So like we're in the 20s doing fitties. Okay, Chloe. I had to fittings for like we're in the 50s and the 30s doing fittings for the 70s. And like, it's like chaos, and you're like forgetting your hair, you know, all my fitting photos for the 70s, my hair is like in the 50s or like whatever. It was so fun to see every department kind of just get to do something completely different. I mean, season 5, we were in gray hallways for the entire season.
Yeah.
Right. And I also, to season 5, I also remember the first time the writer's room walked down to set for shooting the first episode of season 5. And at that point, I think we were breaking and writing episodes 4 and 5 of that season, but we had never yet actually seen what does all this stuff actually look like. And so I think we were all kind of nervous. Okay, so we're gonna do a bunch of stuff in space. The show at the time, Shield didn't do space stuff. But when we walked down set, we saw a bunch of blue guys. I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's working. It's definitely working. Everybody chill out. This is gonna be fine. But again, seeing people in different garb suddenly reinvigorates the show and just like puts a new spin on some of the same, you know, types of situations.
There was a running gag, which you've already started to see, that Speakeasy runs from the 30s to the 50s, and then I got to get it
right now
as the 70s. But they had wrapped on that set right before the day before I started shooting. So they had to turn that set from the 1950s bar to the 1970s while we were shooting. And it was like, every time I come over, it would be like, they're gonna be done by the time we get here.
Yeah.
Was that hard as a director, Stan, to not know what things were going to look like? Because you can't necessarily plan how you shoot until you see the set.
They gave me the plans, and they told me what was going to be where, and there was some set dressing I really wanted for it. So that was I wanted neon signs, you know, beer and wine signs, and I wanted the big 8-track player with a record player attached to it, and there were certain things I wanted. And they did that, and I knew where those were going to go. But yeah, some of it was on the fly. It was like, okay, this is it. And there was a lot of scenes in that set. I think we shot there 2 days.
Yeah, because then there's when we just saw the scene where Daisy hacks into the old timey computer, and
it was so windy in that. Do you guys remember how windy it was? I feel like that was yesterday.
I think you're thinking of a different scene. You're thinking of later, a different hacking scene later in the episode.
Oh yes, I bet it was windy there. This is in like
in the big.
This is some indoor hacking.
A little side room.
Hacking.
But
I should have known it was the different hacking.
Yeah. You've done a few times.
You're back to hacking in this era.
Yeah, you know, because you know why? I feel like maybe for the writers, you guys had to exhaust all efforts to like use technology, but we, you know, every time I kind of go to hack in this season, I like don't really like I do it a little
twice
bit
in this episode.
I guess, but like I'm always like, oh, the hardware is too old.
This scene, you're just kind of like looking at an old-timey computer, and like there isn't a lot you can do in general. So like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna read some information on a screen. Cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, get this info. I did hack in the next scene, I think.
Yeah. You're like way more useful at computers than say Sousa, so like it made a lot of sense for you.
Yeah, and it was a nice. It was a nice juxtaposition between the two of like him being so old school and her being so tech savvy and modern as like such a modern female.
A modern woman.
Well, and that's what the scene was about. The one outside that's what the scene was about too.
Well, we haven't got to that yet.
Also a good scene. Yeah.
Don't spoil it, Dad. Although what are they gonna do? Like I keep thinking this. Can they fire us? No, right? I mean, we've already done it.
No, it's airing. They're gonna know in like 2 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or how much time? I don't even know. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look at some of these messages because people are asking for shout outs. Lily Quinn says Daisy hacking is such a good throwback. I feel like Iden too because he put it in there.
Yes.
Chloe, can you please say hi, Mary?
Mary, hi.
Samantha asks, what was it like to hack again?
You know what? Difficult. I mean, not that hard. I mean, it's fun to go back. That's really what I got cast as. I got cast as like a homeless, like living in a van hacker, and somehow I'm like, I did not think I was going to be running around doing all these stunts. It's nice to be kind of like static.
Because in your audition, did they ask if you can throw a punch and do
No,
something?
you guys, no, they did not. No.
Did they ask if you can do this really well?
Yeah, no, not at all. I had to say a lot of, like tech exposition, which was actually nice to not have to do after a while. But,
Yeah, there's only so many times you can say computery words.
I still remember a monologue from season 2 that I had to do because I had to run it so long.
Oh my gosh,
And it
what
was
is it?
on our mission to Australia. We hacked a military satellite network. Using that, we ran a multispectral topographic scan of the Earth running miles deep throughout the oceanic crust. Oh,
Was
There's
this
something about,
were we in the back of the, like, downstairs on the plane?
yes. Remember, I had to do that whole thing, and
That
there was like
was
40
awful.
extras, and
Yeah.
it was I had to do the fake
Yeah, the topographic graphy
thing.
thing.
So I was like, on our way to Australia, we hacked a military
We
satellite
were all
network
just
using
standing
that.
back watching you.
It was.
Hours.
I don't think I did one run where I was getting I don't think I've ever been more nervous ever.
Well, yeah, because when you have a speech like that, like, you start getting hot, and then you don't know what's, like, the words, you have no control over what's coming out.
Yes. Like 2 episodes ago, you had hands down the hardest, like dialogue over prop work that I've seen in a while.
Oh, when I was
Remember?
doing a little experiment.
You had to
thing.
like put together, you were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a full-blown experiment, and like it had to work because the shot that they made was like featuring it the whole thing.
Yeah.
You had to say all this crazy stuff, and I was like, and you
That
were
was
just
so
doing,
lovely too.
and it was like you had to light stuff on fire, and it was crazy.
Yeah, but I love a prop.
Oh.
George, who was the prop king.
Yes.
We,
George.
the property department are the best.
Mhm.
I have to just say, Enoch's just come onto screen. We've just done. The way he stops the car, he's really in his element.
Ah,
Yeah.
when he says, "Get it,"
Yeah.
I say the line.
If you want to exist, continue to exist.
Classic.
And
By the
then-
way, this is right after you quake the 2 Comicrons right there, and we had
Yes.
that whole debate whether
Yes.
or not you could quake up this way, or because I wanted you to do it because they were going up the side of the wall.
Yes.
I wanted you to do an underhand, and there was a whole debate on set. Can she do an underhand?
It was a big cold pack, have we done like an underhand quake? And I'm like, I don't see why. I think it was because I think maybe the debate was whether to move them like this, which specifically Jed, it's a big note to never move because I don't have the force. I just have
Wait.
something else,
Yeah.
quake ability. So
Yeah,
it
we had
was
a number-
never, right?
We had a number of discussions, even on like in season 6, Chloe, on my episode, we had a discussion about like, how can your hands be turned to do the quake? Like
Mhm.
underhand was like very controversial for whatever reason. And in this episode, we yet again ended up in that exact same situation. With this one, I think the vector kind of made sense where it was underhand and they were kind of going on an upward angle.
I'll be honest, season 7, we took a lot of liberties that I'm not sure made sense. Like I did a quake punch, which like I've never done. And I'm like, I mean, so powers can come out of my fist. First episode, we do a quake punch. People loved it. I just didn't know I could do
Well.
that. It was the first time.
You also
Oh,
did a
that's
super
funny.
jump in season 4, so
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Oh yeah, really.
or end of season 3,
Yes.
super jump.
What?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that was end of season. Whoa.
Josh
50
Daisy does
episodes,
super
guys.
jump. Yeah.
Wow.
Those discussions that you have on set are just so fun because everybody gets very into it and very serious, and there's always a point where people kind of take a pause and go, how is this our job? How are we discussing like
It is crazy. You're like, my friends Mark and I didn't stand. We're all gonna talk about the powers that we have in the alley. It's like they gotta. I'm using my superpowers for the aliens. Like you're like, what? But then I'm like dead serious about it because if we don't get it,
Yeah.
it's so funny. It is.
But when I was smiling in that picture, I was genuinely excited because I got to have conversations like that. Like that is the dream. That is why you spend years toiling in this town to get to the point where you can have an argument about what is the appropriate vector for Daisy's quake.
100%. You know what? I miss those conversations. These days, you miss those. Those are really, really fun.
But I think that's why people love the characters and people are obsessed with Daisy, is that they appreciate those rules that are given to this world, and that's what makes you able to buy into it a bit more. Is that
well, yeah, if you don't take it seriously, you can't expect you have to. It is weird, but you'll.
Yeah, and that's what's so cool about you, Stan, being like watching every episode before, is because by the time you come and direct something in season 7, like these characters have been through so much. It's really hard to, try and everything is just so layered. It's not just a conversation about where is the hand placement for the camera. It's like, well, does Daisy do it like this, and can she do it the other way? Did you find that helpful, having known so much about characters?
No question. Yeah. I use references from earlier episodes and earlier seasons in giving direction all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
And you notice
scene
that kind of thing on set, like if there's a point when it switched over. In the beginning, people could just have director experience, like they could have experience directing, but if you haven't seen like all 100+ episodes of our show, no character choices, nothing's going to really make sense unless you're caught up with what's going on from like a story perspective. So that was really nice.
And that's why it was so fun for me to direct a lot of you and stuff that you had. Like Ming had never worn a dress. She'd wore a dress twice in the entire series. And for her to do physical comedy was really fun because she was so into it. And you were like flirting with multiple guys in the episode. Like, all those things were really fun. I got to
really
dig
deep for that.
Yeah, how do you do that?
There's a scene coming up, which I won't talk about, but where I used a snap zoom, and when we shot it, the monitor was off. I was on set and didn't have a monitor. The monitor was off set. And when the snap zoom happened, the crew laughed so hard, we had to shoot it again.
Can you explain what a snap zoom is?
Yes.
So in the 70s, they didn't have drones. They didn't have, they didn't have big cranes that could do all the kinds of things they do now. And obviously nothing was remote control or wireless or Bluetooth. So they did a lot of stuff with the zoom lens, which is, sort of what a photographer would do. And so they would do things like somebody would have a reaction and they would go from this shot to this shot on the same lens. So it would go whoop, like this, and they would go, oh, and it would always be on a reaction. And so we did it in the show. We did that. And then they would get on top of a building and they'd have people walking up down the street and they would just slowly zoom in on them.
It's like the Instagram super zoom.
Correct.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes,
that's the overlap.
Bringing it back for Gen Z.
Yes. So when we did it, the camera department was thrilled and everybody was having a good time because nobody uses those techniques anymore.
No.
That's the kind of creativity you get to do with time travel, because there's so many different things, like with Noir, like last episode, there's so many different things to get to kind of explore from like a filmmaking perspective for each decade.
Yeah.
Why can't I freaking speak?
Well, it's been a long time since we've been paid to speak,
I know. I'm like
the muscle, a tool.
Yeah. Get with it.
So now we're in. Simmons is talking to Enoch about her memory slipping a bit.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And she's rubbing the back of her neck,
Yeah. Things are about
Are
to
you
pop
in the
off.
like orange set? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's a real
yes,
thing
the
that happened.
lab.
That is a real memory.
New
we have.
rebuild.
Yeah, that's real.
Lovely new rebuild. Yeah. Every year we have a different lab. Oh, I
That
like
one
that.
felt more like, God, what was there before that?
Yeah. Oh.
I remember the first version. But what was there before that rebuild? Was it like, am I bringing up things that aren't real? This is moot to this.
No, this is real. This is real. I'm sure.
I just like to think the fans would know this. You guys, what did the lab look like on the Zephyr before the walls? Does that make sense? That might not be a good.
Yeah, was it just like all storage?
Oh, I remember. Oh, the pod was there.
The pod was there.
The pod that would lower.
Yeah. Because remember at the end of 5, we had that horrendous scene where we were saying goodbye to Coulson and we were all like sat on boxes and
yeah, so it was storage, but that was when the pod would that was when the pod that they built in an element where the pod would start to lower so that the camera it would lower and then it would stop. So we'd be like dropping out now and push the button and the pod would go like so slow. We'd be like, hold on tight. And it was like that long. Oh God,
that's when we were going on adventures.
Those long pods.
That's long pod.
Has anyone ever told the doors to the cockpit on the Quinjet story?
Oh no! Wait, which one? I'm sure.
In the Quinjet, there's there's those 2 seats where the in the cockpit.
And the Zephyr, you mean? The Zephyr, you mean?
Oh, Zephyr, and there's you can see it from everywhere, which is awesome. So that when you're shooting, there's all this great depth. But the problem is because it's in space, it has a green screen, so it costs money every time you look that direction. And
right.
So they would say to you. Prior for 2 seasons, they said you can't look that way because we can't afford it. And then literally in the 3rd season, someone said to Jed, our beloved EP, why don't you just close the doors? And he goes, what? He goes, oh yeah, those are pocket doors. So for 2 seasons, they shot the other direction so they wouldn't see the green screen. They had no idea that the art director had created doors.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
That makes so much sense because
the amount of times you hear we can't shoot that direction because we can't afford it.
Yeah.
During an episode, I mean, it was like
that's why we have no windows on set ever.
Yes, and then Jeff Bell whispered to me in the production meeting, ask about the doors, and I didn't know the story, so of course, oh, so are there doors there? And Jed looks at me, he goes, door subject, and I realized I had been totally set up.
Oh,
wow. Millions.
Wow, I honestly don't even know what doors you're talking about. For the
you do.
To the cockpit?
Yeah, in the Zephyr.
Aren't they? Oh, you know what? They're foggy. There's glass though, but maybe it's not clear glass.
Yeah, I think you can. I think at least in this last season, I think.
Yeah, I had a lot of scenes. I had a specific scene coming up where I had to push that button a lot. I remember those.
Yeah, but I think we changed the thing to be opaque, like to be translucent. So we wanted to see through it.
Oh, so maybe we could change it. Okay.
Plugging in code. Oh, hey, guess where we are in the episode? We're in the alley where it was really loud.
Windy Alley. That was the first scene of the episode I actually shot. This scene, I believe.
Oh, well, your hair looks very fresh.
Yeah, it was a fresh morning.
Did you have to ADR this whole scene then?
Yes. Well, I had to ADR a lot of the scene, which I believe.
It's an afternoon. This is the alley?
It was my first day. I think it was my first scene, if that makes sense. Like it was, I think I was shooting, that was like a double up day or something. I don't remember.
Oh, we have a great question for you, Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Celia asks, with this being the first episode you wrote while staffed, was there a noticeable difference to the story process, e.g. having knowledge of the seasonal arc versus being an episodic writer with less context?
Whoa, great question.
Great question. Let me back up and say, so I started on the show season 1 on the pilot as an office PA, meaning office production assistant. My job was to pick up lunches, to make copies, go on runs, that kind of thing.
I love this.
It would not be classified as a glamorous job.
I believe, did I get you for Secret Santa?
Yeah, season two. But okay, yes. So
Big reveal, it was Chloe.
yes. While it may not have been glamorous in terms of what I did initially, if being on the show afforded me the ability to work with fantastic human beings, such as yourself, but also like the difference between sort of TV and film is that you have seasons, and each season gives you a chance to move up, to move to a different department. So season 1, I was in the production office. Season 2, I was a writer's PA, which basically meant I did some of those same sort of tasks, picking up lunch, but I did it for the writers. But by merit of being close to the writer's room and being around the writers themselves, I was able to learn, okay, here's how actual TV writers build episodes of TV. Here's how these folks build episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. And then eventually I became a writer's room assistant in seasons 4 and 5 and 6. And that meant that my job was to take notes. So I was always in the room taking notes when we were breaking story, which meant that I knew the full context of not just what the episode was, but also ideas we had thrown out, ideas that were they're gonna occur in the future. So I had a pretty good scope of what was going on. And so by the time I was finally on staff, season 7, I was no longer an assistant. I no longer had to take notes, which is pretty exciting. But also I had to learn how to like contribute in a room where I was now full-time. I was on basically having to give feedback and to think about things. Because when you're taking notes, you're always like thinking about what was said, because you're writing it down, what is currently being said, and it makes it difficult to think about where the story is going. But as a staff writer, you're able to kind of focus, okay, just think about now, think about where it's going, and figure out how you can contribute in this room. Because if I recall correctly, when I started officially as a staff writer, I was in a room with some fantastic humans who were upper levels. They knew their stuff. They knew their onions. And so finding ways for me, a little baby writer, to contribute was difficult at first.
Didn't you also ingratiate yourself by being the leader of the Dungeons and Dragons game?
I was not. James Oliver was.
Skipped.
James Oliver was. I, however, did play as Bijou of Kathmandu.
Yes, there was a big Dungeons and Dragons game.
Tabaxi Druid, if I am not mistaken.
You probably know more than like most fans even know, like more like
more details.
I'll tell you what though, we in the room were acutely aware that fans know a lot, and like every minutia, there are fans who know every bit of like Fitz and Simmons, whatever, every bit of Daisy's power, every bit of her backstory.
Truly.
People know that stuff, and we are acutely aware.
It keeps you accountable though, right? Of like really having to know exactly why and when you're doing stuff.
Yes.
I love that story, Iden. It's just such a good example of, starting at the bottom rung, and if you're really dedicated and good at your job, you work your way up, and it means that when you do get to become a writer, you do incredible episodes because you know everything that goes into it.
Yeah. And as I sort of alluded to before, there were many instances in this process where I fell flat on my face. But fortunately, like S.H.I.E.L.D. has such a fantastic work family, such wonderful people who are willing to pick you up and to teach you. And so it was fantastic. So we had quite a number of folks in the writer's room in season 7 were former assistants, people who were script coordinator, they were EP assistants, they'd move up the ladder. And a show like S.H.I.E.L.D. afforded the opportunity to move up and to do something in this business. So I am in the finite chance that Jed and Mo and Jeff are watching this. Thank you.
They might hop on, you never know.
I'm aware they did last week.
Yeah, how did you end up with this episode? And did you pitch the 70s? Did you just like,
good question.
Did you pitch 6?
And same for you, Stan. Did you, if you got to choose? Iden, you go first, because
yeah, so I think we kind of knew broadly we were going to go to the 70s. I think it was luck of the draw that it ended up being my turn. I think also when we were early on beginning to talk about what this episode was going to be, I think I was visibly super stoked about the prospect of doing an episode in the 70s, and thusly it fell onto me, and I was like, yes, this is very exciting. I think initially it was the idea of having an episode take place at some kind of 70s party. I'm like, okay, it seems great. Let's see
I can get on board with this.
Full of possibilities. Let's see where this goes. Okay. All right.
I love it. Yeah. How about you, Stan? Did you
Yeah, I got a phone call from Gary Brown and said, "Would you like to do an episode in season 7?" And I danced around the room and said, "Absolutely." And then they called and said, "These are your dates." I didn't even know I didn't even know what episode I was in. And then you just show up, and I was blessed because I lived in the 70s and knew the 70s, so there was all these reference points were mine, and so I was so delighted to be. And then the chance to shoot on the backlot was such a treat.
So awesome. So you didn't know that it was going to be 70s before you like showed up?
I didn't even know there was time travel. I didn't know. And by the way, they'd only finished episode 1, so I read the scripts for the ones before mine. But I never saw, until now, I've been following the show, I never saw any of the other episodes except 1 before I started shooting mine.
Wow.
Right, just because they weren't ready?
They weren't ready. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And Gary did the black and white one before me, so that everything was like, everybody there was, the crew was exhausted and everybody was running. That show went way over in terms of time. And so they were making it up on mine.
Classic Gare Bear.
I forgot how it is working for Marvel in that you don't ever know anything until you're doing it. Like you're not allowed to see the scripts or really.
Well, as actors, you get used to getting just literally no information, but we can. It's easier for us to do stuff when we don't know like bigger story points. But as a director and writing, it must be like obviously 10 times more difficult.
Here's what I can look. I've made 70 movies and television series in my career. I've had a really blessed career as a producer and now as a director. And I will tell you the rarity is finding something like what you guys had with a really fun set and people that enjoy their work and a really great crew and a writing room where everybody likes each other and supports each other. I wish that was the way it was all over town, but you guys really fell into Shangri-La, and I wish for you this experience again. But this may be unique because it was really amazing group of people who really are not competing with each other, which is just so rare in our business.
Except for in Jeff Ward's costume fitting where we all thoroughly competed. Can we see that picture again, Iden?
Hang on one sec. Hold up.
I think we need that. But that's so lovely of you to say that, Stan. And that feels, it was just such an amazing experience thing to do. We're at the scene now.
Me and Elizabeth hate each other.
Oh, hey.
You know how much she's paying me to be on this?
Yeah, God, your rate is going up
by the minute.
Oh, we're at the point where actually we're not quite at that point, but when I watched it, the thing that stuck with me was Henry toward the end.
Oh yeah.
He has no.
Better late than never. Where'd he go?
Timing though.
Look at your hat.
Wait, why can't I see him?
Where are you, Ward?
Jeffy, put your
You can't see me?
Oh, I
Put
see
your
you.
camera on.
Put your camera on at the bottom.
I got my camera on. It's on.
There you
we
are.
go.
Oh.
Nice porn stash.
He's not on the. Oh, okay. You have to click gallery.
Uh-oh.
I have to click gallery.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff.
you can see.
Sick hat. Are you bored?
What is going on?
Yeah, it just so happens that this hat signifies that I'm bored.
Are you a boarder?
I think Ming's here. Ming, you need to turn your camera on. Press the camera icon.
Ming!
I don't know why it's doing that this soon. She's
Wait a minute.
here.
Here, Ming.
If I can't, I don't know how
Is that
to.
it?
Oh, there she is.
Hey!
Hi, Ming.
Hey guys.
What up, Ming?
What's up?
Ming, you're so good in this episode. And Jeff, you were too, but
You're so funny.
We're all good. We're all so good. We're also just effing
Nice
good.
try, Lil.
Ward, did you get to keep that red tracksuit?
No.
Why not?
No, and I'll tell you what, I don't know. It was extremely upset. I lobbied for it.
hi, Stan.
I got a whole bunch of Oh, Ming. Ming, talk about
I just did an hour and a half of another Zoom, so I'm kind of zoomed out.
You look so beautiful.
Ming, tell them how excited you were to wear a dress. We had you in that von Furstenberg.
Oh yeah, no. It was actually a handmade Henry Poe dress.
Oh.
Trying to mimic Diane von Furstenberg, but he made that dress from
Henry.
scratch.
As he did.
Our amazing, magical, talented tailor. Oh no, dressmaker. He likes to be called a dressmaker.
And one of the funniest people that worked on Shield.
Truly.
Oh my gosh, true.
Oh,
Funny.
no filter.
Absolutely
He
hilarious.
just tells it like it is.
I'd be like, do I not look good in this? And he'd be like, no.
Yeah, but he could fix it, so you did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember
He's like,
he'd
but
be
Like overnight or an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he'd be like stitching you into something. And I remember being like, yeah, like, and you know, maybe it could come in here a little bit. What do you think? And he would be like, do you want it to
Sorry.
come in there?
I'm very busy. I'll mute that.
Is that a train?
Ming, what's going on in your world?
You know,
Busy woman. She's on the phone. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Wait, is that a fake phone call?
negative, yeah.
No, that was real. It looked like it was like
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
iconic level.
Oh, iconic. And
What's
chastity. I mean, there were so many points in this episode, Ming, that I've never seen you do the stuff you had to
I
do.
don't even remember. Sorry, Iden.
It's a great episode. Take my word for it. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Right now, you're going down a
great things
corridor in a
about this
matching
episode of,
jumpsuit
TV.
to Clark.
Blue
You are
jumpsuits.
matching
Oh,
jumpsuit.
Elizabeth, you have that.
Wow.
How come Elizabeth's the only one that can see it beforehand?
She has it playing.
I have it playing. We've all got a login, Ming.
We all get it on Sunday.
Oh, is
Really?
it Sunday?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I still haven't
Absolutely
watched
did not
All
know
of
that.
us.
it.
No idea.
I haven't seen it.
Is that an Eagles jersey? I can't tell what player that is. Oh no,
Oh.
I'm framed on your wall, my man. There's
It looks
an
like
Eagles.
that.
That's an Eagles jersey.
Oh.
Who is it?
Uh-oh, here comes.
It's
It's the information we need.
my
Well,
Go ahead,
Simon.
Stan, go ahead.
Oh, I got a Simon jersey.
Love it.
Jeff, is
Who
that
is
a
it?
season 6 Shield bro hat?
What
Yeah.
this? Yeah, and actually on the back it says I bored,
Sick.
but I had that specifically monogrammed in. Well, it's not a monogram, but
It'd be sick if you got that made like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know.
Did you grow the porn stash for work?
I did for this episode. I grew
Hi,
it to
Zach.
promote the 70s episode. Hi, Zach.
What's up, Zach?
I don't know why I'm registering people so slowly, but it's like
back here.
It's hard. It's hard sometimes.
it is.
Technology.
This
Yeah.
does
Where-
look like we're all hanging out again, though.
I know this like we're on set.
I
What
know.
is that? What's happening on the episode right now?
Yeah.
Oh, good question. Oh, it just went to black.
Oh.
I think it might be over.
Do you see comments and stuff going by or something?
Oh, right, yes.
You can log on to the YouTube channel and actually see it in a slightly delayed manner, which is kind of
Who-
That's
Jeff,
amazing.
there's a lot of people saying you look so cute. Mary
Okay.
saying you
So
look
if we're
cute.
coming up on the tag,
Yes.
so there's a guy with a boombox in the background of the phone booth. My son, Eli. So will you tell me if you see him? Because I'm going to go watch it in a couple hours, and he's going to be very disappointed if he got cut out.
Better not have edited him out. My gosh, that would be a terrible thing.
Russell says this has truly been my favorite episode of the season. It is so fun, and I love your story, Iden. It was really amazing to hear.
Yeah.
All right, Iden.
And
Thank you, Russell. You're very welcome, Russell. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm
Great.
really happy that Iden put me together with Patrick.
Yeah.
Robert.
Oh my god,
It's so
good.
funny.
You
He
guys are
was-
so hilarious.
oh my gosh.
Staying and Snow together is the gift to everyone. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
such a funny
it was
scene.
magic. It was magic. It's among my favorite scenes in the episode, in an already jam-packed episode full of great scenes. I hear it's
Yeah.
great, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. He's so funny. I mean, it's just sometimes just looking at his face, I can't help but laugh. With that mustache, with that fake. Oh,
Like Jeff. Leave a
Hey.
little bit, Patrick.
Ming.
Yeah.
Get
Patrick.
Talk me through what's
Jeff,
going
you have
on with
Patrick's mustache.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It was for this, and I can't believe it took you this long to notice.
Yeah. I'm noticing things very slowly. It's the drugs. Yeah. I mean, you know, like the ibuprofen.
Allergy drugs.
I keep forgetting I'm very allergic to ibuprofen.
I feel like we should all like mute our screens or something. Let Jeff and Ming just have at it.
I'm perfectly fine with that. I would like to make some tacos.
Variety actors on actors.
I just would want to play interviewer, and the first 3 questions that pop into my head are: first, Ming, what did you have for breakfast today?
Oatmeal. Boring. Sorry, but I put a lot of stuff in. I put blueberries in it. I put flaxseed. I put oat milk. It's kind of weird to put oat milk on oatmeal. It's weird.
It's not.
Yeah, and sometimes I put black sesame seed in there too.
Oh,
it's good.
All right.
And here I was thinking, that's a great answer. What are you talking about? It's not boring at all. There you go.
Yeah, not boring. But Ming, remember when you made those tiny pancakes?
Yeah.
You need the recipe for those to the group, please.
Okay.
Ming, I have another question.
The teeny tiny, like they're called cereal pancakes. You make them in the like little, like, and then you make it. Yeah, mini, and then you eat it like cereal. It's the weirdest.
I have a question, Ming. Do you still have your suitcase of markers? Do you?
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. One day we were shooting on set, and it was like a really serious scene. And Ming had her she brought this giant suitcase on the set. And we were like, "Whoa, Ming has like a lot of like stuff today."
He must be flying somewhere.
Lifts the suitcase up and opens it, and it's all markers. It's all like organized markers.
Because I was doing my bullet journal. I still do.
Yes, it's right there. Wow.
With 45 pounds of different colored
See,
markers.
like I do my bullet
It's
journal.
amazing.
You were, that was amazing.
Oh, Ming.
I'm gonna have to write down that I was also on Elizabeth's Zoom today.
Ooh.
Yes, write that down, and I'll tick it off if you want. I'll give you
Okay, third question just popped in my head. Do you write it all down? Okay, that's great. Okay. There's a lot happening. Okay.
Because like, how am I going to remember all the movies we watched while we were in quarantine? It's kind of a cool thing.
You don't write them down in a special page.
Well, and that's a lot. Like I know.
Look, these are all the movies that we saw as a family.
Can I hear that page? Can we just hear that page?
Outbreak, Contagion.
That's hilarious way to start the list. I have a feeling.
Watch it. Why would you watch it right now?
Outbreak. It was your
Contagion.
family list.
I'm a massacre. Knives Out. Anybody see Knives Out?
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic.
So good.
Go ahead.
And then we saw a really bad movie, 2012, because
I loved great terrible movie. It
should be called 2020.
Yeah. The Social Network, Interstellar, Six Underground, Inglourious Bastards, Parasite, Inception. Some of these we watched. As a family, we saw Saturday Night Live. So amazing. It is so good being bad.
Wait,
what is it?
Saturday Night Fever.
I think. Do you mean an episode of Saturday Night Fever, or is it an episode?
It's the sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
And it's called Saturday Night Live?
I could be wrong.
Feels like there's a slight conflict because I think
it goes well with this
also
episode, though, right? Stan watched Saturday Night.
But you have to watch it. It is so funny.
Wait, now I gotta Google. Hold on.
John Travolta doing this in a dance is the best.
It's so good. Thank goodness you've got the list, because now we know to watch that, Ming.
Yeah. No, but you guys should do this. It's so good because then you remember all the movies.
I'm looking up Saturday Night.
So lovely and neat.
Staying Alive.
Oh.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, it's Staying. I read it wrong.
Staying alive, that's
gonna ruin your whole neat page.
No, I have erasable pens.
I mean, if you have a suitcase full of pens.
For disaster.
I miss you.
I missed you guys.
Wow.
Oh,
What
well,
a legend.
the
Easy
show
legend.
has ended now.
Oh shoot.
I know.
Well, let's talk through Ming's viewing of Saturday Night Live.
Good. We've gotten
Yeah,
a lot of people saying thank you. Stan, great work. This is from
Great work,
Rocket.
Stan. Great work.
I did
Stan.
great work. Everyone's saying
Great
that,
work.
you know, we all did great on this.
I concur.
Were you nervous? For your that was your first, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Your first.
Terrified.
You were
I don't
great.
I
We
don't
had so much
exist in
fun.
public. I don't do this. I don't.
But it was
speak
good,
for-
right?
It had its moments. It had its
Oh,
moments.
man.
Memorable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it exists forever now. It's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely.
Right now.
And the first is, you know, always
Go ahead, finish it.
the most, you know, memorable. So,
Okay, that checks out. Yeah.
You
I'm
learned
so
that
glad we
Saturday
got
Night
that
Live.
in there, Ming, because we hadn't had any innuendos yet, and I was like a little bit sad about it.
I was gonna
So
start
thank
forcing
God.
But
Yeah.
Really? You guys didn't have any innuendos?
No, we were just
Because
having
you
a
hadn't
normal
been here yet.
conversation. It was like we're just like having a conversation about Marvel's Agents of Shield, which is a great
Yeah.
show. We just watched it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank God you arrived, basically.
What
just
was
kinda
your
stayed on
last
topic
Zoom
and
like?
Kind of like whatever.
What was the Zoom that you did right before this? What was that like?
Oh, it was great. It was great. It was just me and my girlfriends from
Filled with sexual innuendo?
I don't know.
All right.
Not as many. Not as many. Yeah. It was this film I did before you were born. So yeah.
That's what it's called, or that's when it happened?
Club.
was it Joy
Yeah,
Luck
no,
Club?
it's the Joy Luck Club girls, and Amy Tan and
Love Joy Luck Club.
Iconic.
How do we
Iconic.
see
What are you
that,
talking
Ming?
about?
That's
How
a
do we
nice piece
watch
of trivia
that?
to drop on a Zoom. You can
I
say
have no idea. Yeah,
Oh, no
it's
idea.
over.
That's flex.
It's over.
I was doing a puzzle before this.
Seriously.
So much cooler.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe if
doing
we
a Zoom
people-
for an iconic movie reunion. Like, yeah, I drove home from hanging out with Max Osinski. It's like,
What?
Oh,
cool,
how is
but
that?
he's great. I saw him in Deachin. It was lovely.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I love them. They're such a beautiful couple.
How's
They are a
Matilda?
beautiful couple.
Sick.
Well, let's all Google Joy Luck Club MING-NA WEN Zoom, and I'm gonna find that, Ming, because I want to see that.
I think it was on Facebook, YouTube. No, Facebook.
Those are sites. Those are websites. Yes.
Those are.
Yeah.
Facebook
Yeah.
Live.
Those are.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Are we
you
done?
guys for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're done. The show is
You
done.
guys.
Love you
Love
all.
Fun.
Guys.
Thanks,
Jeff,
Ron.
you look like Ryan Sheckler. Do you remember?
I
that?
do?
Do you remember who that is?
No, who's Ryan Sheckler?
Google it.
Just
All right.
Google it.
Well, I'm gonna go Google Ryan Sheckler. That's all.
Thank
Them
you guys.
too.
Congratulations,
Thank
Dan.
Dan
Great to
and
see you.
Ida. This
Bye.
was a
Good
great
night,
Stan and
episode.
Ida.
Everybody.
Great
Bye.
job, y'all.
Thanks,
Bye,
Ida.
guys. Love you.
Love ya.
Everyone for watching.